Hey YouTube, we're going to give you our 10 tips to win your fantasy football league. We're going to give you some tips and tricks to give you that edge over the other players in your fantasy league. Alright, for tip number 1, don't go and pick 3 wide receivers in a row or 2 running backs in a row, because then if you pick, let's say you pick 2 running backs in a row, first round, second round, and then you come to your third round and all you see are good running backs and you don't like the wide receivers, you're going to put that running back onto your bench. You don't want that. You want to have a full, good roster that will be able to compete and win you every week. So, let's say you pick a running back first round, and then second round, you can't decide between a running back and a wide receiver. Go for that wide receiver. And then next round, you can decide between running back or wide receiver again. And that way, you will have a full roster of good and decent players. Tip number 2. Don't reach for quarterbacks. It's really not necessary. Unless you really want Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Ben Roethlisberger. If you really want, you can go for that great running back or great wide receiver in that mid-round. If you have a guy like Blake Bortles, who you get in a late round, like 9th, 10th round, he'll give you maybe 16 points per game. A guy like Tom Brady, who's like 4th round, will be giving you 20 to 25 points a game, which isn't so much of a difference. That will be the difference to win you the league with your extra elite running back or wide receiver. Tip number 3, which I see a lot of, and I guess I can understand it because people don't really care, is people underestimate kickers way too much. Kickers can potentially give you 20 plus points a game. That could be a difference between a W and an L in your fantasy week, and that could potentially be a win or loss in the playoffs. Let me get this straight. I'm not saying to reach for kickers 7th, 8th round. No, get it a little later, maybe 11th, 12th, but don't wait till the last pick. Too much underestimating, and that's just my tip for that. Tip number 4, the matchups. Matchups are super important. Let's say you have Tom Brady and you have Andrew Luck. Now, in one week you have Tom Brady going up against the elite defense Jacksonville Jaguars. And in the same week, you have Andrew Luck, who's on your bench, going up against one of the worst defenses, the Dolphins. I would start in that situation Andrew Luck. Doesn't matter that Tom Brady is the GOAT. It doesn't matter in that situation. Andrew Luck will still probably give you the more points at the end of the week and can possibly give you that W. And tip number 5, streaming defenses. I'm not really a big fan of it, but it does work. Let's say you have the Minnesota Vikings all year long, and then you notice that the Dolphins are available this week going up against the Browns. The Browns are horrible every week. They never put up any points. I mean, we'll see this year. But in that situation, I would take the Dolphins going up against the worst team in the league. That's if the Minnesota Vikings are going up against a team like the Packers or the Patriots.
So for tip number 6, follow ADP. Now, all I'm saying is this. If you're going on the pick number 35 and you see a guy like, for example, Josh Gordon, you don't want to take him there. There's a lot of concerns with him, off-field issues. You don't want to go about that. You want to go with a guy, for example, you go in your first 2 rounds, that's fine. When you go later, you want to see guys like him, like Josh Gordon, like Alshon Jeffrey, who's currently injured and might miss week 1 of the regular season. You want to avoid players like that. You want to draft guys who you feel comfortable drafting. So you want to avoid those players through the ADP. So you want to follow it. Do not worship ADP. Tip number 7, avoid the noise. What I mean avoid the noise is don't listen to that cousin who's a Giants fan for 15 years and worships Eli Manning every week, has posters of him on the wall. Alright? And he tells you, say, oh, you have to draft him over guys like Carson Wentz, Andrew Luck. He's telling you this. Don't trust those people. Because at the end of the day, they're not drafting your league. You are. You're the person who has to look at the computer screen and has to make a decision. Those people are just advising, alright? So do not listen to those people, alright? At the end of the day, you're the person who has to make the call. They are not the ones making the call for you. Tip number 8. Practice makes perfect. Now, I understand you want to go on your computer screen and you want to look in the monitor and you want to get ready for this NFL season. Now, if you do it one time, most likely when you're actually drafting with your friends, you're going to be unprepared. You're not going to know what's going to happen. Now, I advise, this is perfect. Go do mock drafts in any of these sports apps like ESPN, Yahoo, CBS, NFL.com. You do all those different things so you have a different understanding. You get a good grasp of, this guy's going 4th round? Okay, I like that. Do it as many times as you can so you have the upper hand on the competition. Tip number 9, research football events. Now you want to know the player who's being right now suspended, injured, who's underperforming in training camp, or heck, who's not even starting on the team roster. You need to know when you're going into the draft. So just be prepared. Follow websites like worldworld.com or go to ESPN.com or NFL.com, and they have like fantasy sites over there to understand it, to have a basic understanding of what's going on over there. So yes, research football events. Now, the last tip. Tip number 10. Most importantly, subscribe to Brick and Gronk. We will give you the best information possible. We will make sure that if you guys watch this video, we'll make sure you're going to win your league week in and week out. You will destroy your competitor. You will make sure that those people who are playing against you, they'll make sure, they'll be like, oh my God, this guy is the best team in the league because he knows 2 guys like us, Brick and Gronk, all day.
All right, thank you, Gronk. And that sums it up for this video. Thank you for watching our tips and tricks. And we'll see you guys next time, hopefully, for more tips and tricks week to week in fantasy football.
Have a good draft, guys.